Well, I won again yesterday. Another raise the bar 29 winner. Oregon getting the job done against Penn State. And listen, guys, if you have been a regular follower, when I told you my best bet yesterday was on the Oregon Penn State game, if you've been following these video reports all season long, you knew I was going to go against Penn State because James Franklin in big games. A matter of fact, if you got the play yesterday, you saw in the opening paragraph, I told you James Franklin now 1-17 straight up, 5-13 against the spread against top five teams in his coaching career with 12 consecutive straight up losses. And as an underdog in his coaching career, 18-25 against the spread. Yes, big game. James delivered again, and I'm very grateful. Hi, everyone. Al DeMarco here, General Manager, DeMarcoSports.com, and this is going to be your Sunday video report. And again, just like after cashing with Boise State on Friday, after cashing with Oregon yesterday, another raise the bar 20 dime release today. As I go for football winner number 18 out of 23 and the winning day number 19 out of 25 overall. And it's the Sunday night game. That's going to be my best bet. And once again, a raise the bar 20 dime release is my second highest rated play. It's on the Chiefs Chargers game. And just like Boise, just like Oregon, it's going to be the half price play of the day using, repeat after me, coupon code HALF, the word half, HALF, over at DeMarcoSports.com. Bottom line there, guys, before I go any further, and by the way, we have a new member of the Cockroach Pub. Yes, it really brightened my day today. So we will talk about that new honorary member in just a moment. But quick recap, let's touch on a couple of the games yesterday. As I told you in the video report about Texas and Georgia, one of the reasons that I didn't really have a firm opinion in that game is because I was kind of surprised that Texas was a 2.5 point favorite in that, considering that it was being played in Georgia's backyard. And the fact that after watching the first go round, Georgia's offensive and defensive lines just manhandled Texas in that game. Now, did Texas take the early lead yesterday and did Georgia's quarterback get hurt? Yes. But then you saw in the second half of that contest, look at the three scoring drives by the Bulldogs in the second half. 10 plays, 75 yards, 9 plays, 61 yards, 16 plays, 72 yards, a touchdown and 2 field goals that put them in the position to force the overtime session. And those 3 drives alone consumed over 19 and a half minutes as their offensive line exerted their dominance. And then when Texas needed to get the stop in overtime, that defense wilted. I think it was part because they were on the field so much in the second half. But again, when you have a traditional SEC power team like Georgia has been for years, they've recruited differently than a team that is a newcomer to the SEC that was living in the Big 12 and didn't get that quality offensive and defensive lineman. The tables will turn and Texas will get those studs and that will all equalize out. But yesterday it didn't pay. A gentleman here on the site was surprised that I didn't go with SMU as my top play yesterday. And I wrote back in the comments section here on YouTube that I was a little concerned with the way the SMU defense collapsed and couldn't get the job done in the overtime win at Duke. Couldn't really put away Boston College, a mediocre ACC team at home. And that just, sometimes gives you that feeling. And when you get that feeling, you got to stay away from games. I mean, there is a sixth sense involved here in handicapping sometimes. The same way I tell you that there are some games that jump off the page and tell me, bet me, bet me, bet me. Sometimes when you get that sixth sense, you've got to definitely listen to it. And you saw yesterday that SMU, they outgained Clemson 458 to 326, but 2 turnovers, 6 penalties. Clemson not one flag against the Tigers, which really is kind of hard to believe, but props to them for a clean game. But Kevin Jennings, even though statistically had a monster game over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns passing, 1 touchdown rushing, he was under pressure the entire time. And that SMU defense couldn't get a stop when they needed. And then the other game yesterday was kind of interesting. Arizona State, which was Rick Torino's 100 dime max wager release. Now 23-7 with them since he joined the site 2.5 years ago. How about Arizona State? A favorite all week long, and then yesterday, suddenly, public pushing that line, and Iowa State, who got hammered goes off at the chalk. So just a couple of observations. Now, yesterday, my complimentary plays, I lost them both. Yes, I lost them both. My top play was SMU, and the other play was Miami of Ohio. So the complimentary plays in college football, 10-5 with the best of the worst. But more importantly, with Oregon, 11-3 the last 14 Saturdays with my Saturday best bets. And I told you what my winning streaks were at the top of the report. But yesterday, yes, we had another. Oh, I'm not going to use those words because YouTube has an interesting policy. When you use too much profanity in the videos, it really hurts your views, FYI. A guy by the name of James Elenz, Elenz. I hope, James, I'm pronouncing your name correctly and showing you a little more respect than you showed me. This jerk off. Oh, I can say that, can't I? Yes, he wrote in and said, Al, nice advice on Miami of Ohio. Yeah, James, listen. I created DeMarcoSports.com 23 years ago. How many plays have you bought in that time? Zero. And I will tell you the same thing that I tell everybody else that I give short shrift to. I'm dying of leukemia. Don't F with a dying guy because I don't give an F. And you are just like a piece of sand drifting on the ocean front that I don't give an F about. But I warned you, James, yesterday that I would definitely make fun of you today, and I will constantly do so here on the video reports because you, James, are the latest member of the Cockroach Club, a club that, as Groucho Marx once said, and to paraphrase Groucho, I would never want to become a member of a club that would have me as a member. But James, you are the latest member, and it's a growing club. And I think I got to print some T-shirts. I think I have to do something like that. I mean, it'd be the Cockroach Club. I think Al DeMarco's Cockroach Club. I think it was. Maybe I should trademark it or something. I don't know. But anyway, let's talk about the NFL complimentary plays. Overall, let's see. The NFL. I can tell you what my NFL complimentary plays. Over the past 34 weeks, the complimentary plays 65, 43, and 3 in the NFL. The first complimentary play today, I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins at home, looking to rebound against the New York Jets. Now, you remember my comp play on Thanksgiving. I thought the Lions and I'm sorry, the Packers were the play there against Miami because I thought a cold weather team going to Lambeau just wouldn't work. And you saw what happened in that game, right? It was an easy win by the Packers. And here, though, I've got Miami coming back at home against a Jets team that blew a 14-point lead at home last week against Indianapolis and ultimately lost that game. I think it was 28-27. A Jets team that has lost 8 of its last 9 games. A Jets team that has lost, I think, 13 of 16 against Miami overall, including 8 in a row in South Florida. A Jets team that's going to be minus their leading rusher, Breece Hall, today, who's out with a knee injury. That means the Wisconsin rookie, Braylon Allen, who has really struggled this year, 3.6 yards per carry in limited action, 2.2 yards per carry after contact. And of course, you got Aaron Rodgers. Need I say more? I'd like Miami to rebound here. They're -6, and I would buy down the half point on Miami here with the line anywhere between 6 and 7.5 points. And listen, I read something on ESPN where if the Dolphins lose today, their chances of making the playoffs, which let's face it, it's life support at this particular stage. If they lose, not factoring in any other outcomes of any other games or implications today, their percentage of chances of making the playoffs drops to 2.3%. If they win, it's marginally better at 13.8. So they've got to win, and I think this is a good possibility for them to get the job done here in this particular spot, beating a Jets team that sucks. Okay, the other complimentary play, and it's a weak card today. There's a lot of interesting matchups like the Rams and the Bills and the Steelers and the Browns, but I can't tell you any of these games really were that interesting or stood out. The only game that stood out to me, the one game that was saying to bet me, was the night game, the Sunday night game between the Chiefs and the Chargers. And the other game is Tennessee and Jacksonville. Now, Tennessee is a 3.5-point favorite at home against Jacksonville. I will tell you what I always say when I handicap games like this. You're asking to put good money on bad teams. You've got a 3-10 team, a 3-9 team hosting a 2-10 team, a Tennessee team that 2 weeks ago beats Houston on the road and then gets squashed 42-19 at Washington. What gives there? You got a Jacksonville team that, of course, lost Trevor Lawrence for the season last week. The only good thing I can say about that game is that Mac Jones actually played well in relief, his best outing so far since joining the Jaguars in that contest. But otherwise, Mac Jones in that game in relief, 235 yards and 2 touchdowns in the 23-20 loss to Houston. But he is 3-14 against the spread in his last 17 starts, dating back to his days with the Patriots. This is going to be his third start in relief of Lawrence since joining the Jaguars. He's going to be facing the #1 pass defense in the NFL, a defense for the Titans that's giving up just 171.8 yards per game. Now, there's a caveat. And guys, whenever you hear something like that, when somebody says, oh, they've got the #1 pass defense, you should always think to yourself, well, how do they do against the run? Why are they #1 against the pass? Are they #1 or #2 because they're so damn good? Or it's because nobody throws the ball against them in this case, the Titans case, because they can't stop the run. And that's exactly the problem. Like Tennessee can't stop the run. Last week, Washington ran for 264 yards against them. So Jacksonville has ability to run the ball, but still, when it comes down to Mac Jones, I'd rather take Tennessee and look for the Titans to rebound. Now, clearly, between these two plays, no ifs, ands, or buts, Miami is the top of the two selections. So that would be your top play, the Dolphins today. And then, of course, Tennessee would be #2. So I'll do it. I've run down everything. You've gotten your Cockroach Club membership, new honoree today. And it's a perfect Sunday, is it not? Good luck. Oh, one thing. Managing expectations. And this is important, guys. I just want to tell you that, I like to try to win every single day, of course. But my goal is ultimately to turn a profit over the season, over the long haul, over the course of the year. And that should be everybody's goal in this business. If you're a handicapper, not only for yourself betting games, but also for your customers. So last weekend, after cashing in on Thanksgiving, after which the Cowboys over the Giants, I then lost Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, keep in mind, going in to the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday card, I'd won 13 out of 15 days. I had won 14 out of 16 football releases. It had been a nice 6-week run, right? But I lost 3 straight days. First 3-day losing streak I had in over 2 months. A number of customers at the site decided to abandon me. They didn't want to have my picks anymore. They thought the winning streak was over. So they jumped to other handicappers. Well, since Monday, I've gone 5-1, including a 3-0 sweep in the NFL and college football. I can't control when you come and become a customer. I can't control when you leave and depart and jump off the bandwagon. I can tell you my goal remains the same, to turn a profit over the long haul. I don't worry about bandwagon jumpers. I published a big tip sheet. After I had my nationwide radio show, I decided to take those customers that were following me like crazy, and I thought, well, let me do a tip sheet. Let me produce a tip sheet. Over 5 years, my top plays, 69.8%, almost 70%. Each year I lost subscribers. Now, some of them may have died. Some of them may have quit gambling. I know that some of them, if I told you I had the lock of all locks, they needed a second play. That's how gamblers are. I know it. You know it too. But again, I can't control when people come on, when people leave. I'm just here trying to win and telling you the truth. Total transparency. That'll do it, guys. I wish you well and talk to you again soon. Take it easy, guys.